Hello and welcome to the SBL Guru podcast. My name is Marty Windle and we're going to continue our series which is all about strategy in real life. In this podcast, what we do is we take concepts from the ACCA SBL exam and we try to apply them in real life organizations. Now, today's podcast we're going to talk about is based on Harmon's process strategy matrix. Now, when they asked this in the ACCA SBL exam, it's one of the worst performing questions in the history of SBL. So I think it's important that they may ask it again. We need to know about Harmon and how we can apply it in a real life company, and in particular, how you could apply it in a case study in your exam. The key word you're looking for in the exam, the key phrase you're looking for would be a question about process change. So processes are the systems in your organization, and we have to change them to improve the performance of the company. So what does this Harmon process strategy matrix do? It helps companies to decide how to approach and how to improve their company processes. And what we're trying to do is to match the improvement strategy to the right process based on how complex or how strategically important the process is. So think about it as a classic 2x2 matrix box. We've got two dimensions. The first one is process complexity. How complex is the process? Is it relatively simple, or is it a complex process which is quite a difficult process for the company to use? And the second consideration is basically strategic importance. How important is this process for your business? Will it give you a competitive advantage? Is it very strategically vital for your company? Or is it, we need to do it, but it's less important for our organization? So what we'll do is we'll take this idea and apply it to some very famous and well-known companies and well-known organizations. So what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the four quadrants of the Harmon process strategy matrix and try to think about how they're going to apply it in a real life organization. Let's start off with the high. That is high complexity. It's a very complex process. It may require specialist skills, multiple steps, or advanced technology. And the strategic importance is high. It means it's going to potentially give you a competitive advantage. It's going to contribute to differentiation or customer satisfaction. So it's strategically important for your business. So high. So if we look at a company like Amazon and Amazon's supply chain, Amazon is all about getting the products delivered to you as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And their supply chain and logistics is a key part of their business. Fast, reliable delivery is part of their value proposition, and it's strategically vital for their business, so we call it high strategic importance. So in terms of process complexity, we've got to manage warehouses, we've got to manage relationships with our suppliers, we've got to get that last mile delivery working well for us while meeting our promises of same day or next day delivery. So getting all those different parts working together is quite a complex process. At the same time, we've got to make sure we have real-time route optimization for each delivery. So in this situation, what does Harmon recommend? Well, Harmon recommends we use technology to redesign the process. Redesign the process by using technology to make sure that we've got the best technology to deliver the supply chain and logistics which meets customer satisfaction. So Amazon, they invest in automation. They've got, if you ever see their plant, there's a lot of robotics going on in their plant. They look at AI and automation at their fulfillment centers. The AI is there to predict the demand, ensuring products are stocked close to where the customer wants and needs them, and we don't have any stock shortages. The humans in the factory work together with the robots to make sure that everything is running smoothly. So a big investment in process technology in this high complexity, high strategic importance business. And it's not just a one-off investment. Amazon are always thinking about how to improve that process using technology. They've launched Amazon Prime Air, which is a drone delivery system. They've also expanded their logistics network to reduce reliance on third-party carriers like FedEx and UPS. So they've invested in technology where drivers can set up their own business for Amazon delivery. So when you've got high, heavy investment in technology to improve that process, heavy focus on innovation, redesign the process to improve satisfaction and focus on continuous improvement. That is the high. Quadrant 2 is high complexity but low strategic importance. So these processes are complex, but they're not part of our core business. They are not going to give us any real competitive advantage. They are necessary, but it's not going to help us to differentiate in the market. If we look at a company like Procter & Gamble, a good example of this might be their IT infrastructure. You've probably heard of Procter & Gamble, or you definitely know their brands like Tide, Pampers, Gillette. They operate in over 180 countries, millions of transactions in their supply chain. Now, their IT is quite complex. They've got data centers, they've got cyber security, they've got cloud computing. Now, these are important processes, but they're not really going to give you any real competitive advantage and differentiate the company in the eyes of the consumer. So what do? We outsource these processes. High complex, low strategic importance, we outsource. And at P&G, they outsource these processes to IBM and HP to allow experts to handle the infrastructure, while P&G focuses on its core business of product innovation and brand management. This allows them to lower their cost, but also improve their IT efficiency. They focus on things they do well and outsource things they don't do well to other people. Let's look at the third quadrant. The third quadrant is low complexity, not a very complex process, but high strategic importance. In this quadrant, the process is simple, yet very important for the business. We've got to try and optimize that process in terms of speed, cost, and consistency. A great example of this is McDonald's order fulfillment process. So McDonald's wants to make sure that customers get their food quickly, they get the order correct. It's a relatively simple process, but it's very strategically important for their brand name, that they have good quality and they have a fast service. It's known as fast food after all, because they're serving millions of customers every day. So what they try to do is, when you've got this low complexity, high strategic importance process, they try to automate that process as much as possible. I'm sure if you've been into McDonald's recently, you've seen the automated touch screens, which mean that they can process the orders much more efficiently, much more effectively by using customers to get involved in the process. This can minimize the number of wrong orders, but also takes payment and speeds up the entire process. This also helps with reducing human error, provides the opportunity to upsell, which a human person taking the order may forget to do. So low complexity, high strategic importance. We try to automate that process as much as possible. Automation is the answer. The final one is low complexity, low strategic importance. What we have with low complexity, low strategic importance is it's something we're doing. It's not very complex, but it's not that important for our business. So what do? In this process, we look at things, a company like Tesla, the telecoms company. What they do is take a process like payroll. It's a very simple process. It's not going to give them any competitive advantage in their business. So what you should do in that case is outsource that to a third-party provider, which have got efficiency in these systems. This will allow you to focus on your core business, or you can try and automate that process. This is going to allow you to reduce your admin workload and focus on your core business. So for your exam, you've got to know how to identify the two quadrants and then work out what the correct answer is. Memorize the answer and be able to apply it in the examination. So as a consultant, find out what your strategic importance is in the exam. There's some mention, some clue there on strategic importance. Find out about the process complexity and then choose the correct strategy. The examiner will normally give you 3 or 4 different scenarios and processes. You've got to choose which one works best. So you have to memorize each correct decision, each correct action for the examination. Hope that's been helpful, and thanks very much for listening. If you need extra help in the SBL exam, I strongly advise you to look at one of my courses. I've got 4 different courses. Some cover tuition, some cover revision, and some cover only the pre-seen mock examination. Just go to martywindle.com/links or just type in www.sblguru.com and you'll have all the information you need about how to get my courses, which will help you to pass the examination. Good luck in your exam.